He didn't say anything clever. He didn't compliment her looks. He didn't try to impress her with money or status. He said just two words, and something shifted in her. She leaned in closer. Her guard dropped, and by the end of that conversation, she couldn't stop thinking about him. Two words, that's all it took. And once you understand the psychology behind them, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into female psychology, specifically why certain men, often older, seem to attract women effortlessly, while others try 10 times harder and get nowhere. This video isn't about manipulation. It's not about tricks or techniques. It's about understanding how the female brain is wired, what it responds to on a deep subconscious level, and why two specific words activate something powerful in a woman's mind. Stay with us to the end because the second word is the one most men completely overlook. And it might be the most important thing you hear all year. The story of Marcus. Let me tell you about Marcus. Marcus is 52 years old. He's not rich. He drives a modest car. He doesn't have a six-pack. He's got a few gray hairs, some laugh lines around his eyes, and a quiet way of carrying himself that makes a room feel calmer when he walks in. His younger colleague, Daniel, 29, gym-built, works in finance, once asked him, "Marcus, how do you do it? Women are drawn to you like gravity. What's your secret?" Marcus smiled. He didn't give a long speech. He didn't hand Daniel a list of rules. He leaned back, picked up his coffee cup, and said, "I stopped performing, and I started noticing." Daniel didn't understand it then, but years later, after dozens of failed dates and relationships, where he always seemed to say too much and feel too little, he finally got it. Those two words Marcus lived by: noticing and no. We'll get to the second one. But before we name them, you need to understand why they work. And for that, we need to talk about the female brain, the psychology, safety, and significance. Female psychology at its core is wired for safety and significance. Women have evolved over thousands of years with a finely tuned social radar. They read micro-expressions, tone shifts, pauses in conversation, and body language, often unconsciously, faster than any conscious thought can process. This is why a woman can walk away from a first date with a man who said all the right things, but still feels something was off, and she can meet another man who said almost nothing remarkable, but feel completely drawn to him. It comes down to what psychologists call emotional congruence, the alignment between what a person says and who they actually are. Most men who struggle with attraction are performing. They're running mental scripts, they're managing impressions, and women feel that performance. It registers in their nervous system as a low-level threat, not dangerous, but untrustworthy. Older men, especially those who've done inner work, tend to have what researchers call secure attachment energy. They don't need the interaction to go a certain way. They're not auditioning, and that is magnetically attractive. Now, here's where the two words come in. Word one, interesting. The first word is interesting, not as a compliment, not as filler, but as a genuine response. Here's how most men react when a woman says something unexpected or different. They either agree immediately to avoid conflict, or they pivot to talk about themselves. Both responses subtly signal insecurity. But when an older, grounded man hears something he didn't expect, he doesn't rush to fill the space. He pauses, he looks at her, and he says, "That's interesting. Tell me more." Three words technically, but interesting is the anchor. Here's why it works on a psychological level. When you say something is interesting, genuinely, you're communicating three things at once without saying them out loud. I'm not threatened by your perspective. I have my own frame and I can hold yours alongside it. I'm actually here, present, curious, engaged. Dr. Arthur Aaron's famous psychological research on interpersonal closeness shows that deep, sustained curiosity, the kind that makes someone feel truly seen, is one of the most powerful bonding mechanisms that exists between two people. When a woman feels genuinely interesting to a man, not because he's flattering her, but because his eyes light up when she speaks, dopamine releases, oxytocin builds. She starts to associate him with that feeling. Most men try to be impressive. Older men who understand attraction try to be interested, and the word interesting, said with calm, authentic curiosity, is the verbal signal of that mindset. Word two, no. The second word is one you didn't expect, and that's exactly why it works. The second word is no, not aggressive, not cold, just calm, clear, and unhesitating. Think about it. When was the last time someone told a beautiful woman no without flinching, without immediately backtracking or softening it into meaninglessness? Most men, especially those who are attracted to a woman, will agree, comply, rearrange their plans, their opinions, even their values to keep her approval. And women feel this, and it doesn't create attraction. It creates the opposite. Here's the psychology. Women are not consciously looking for men who will say no to them, but their subconscious attraction system is wired to detect and be drawn to men who have a stable sense of self. When a man says no calmly, whether it's declining a request, disagreeing with an opinion, or simply not going along with something he doesn't want to do, it sends a signal so rare that it cuts through all the noise. The signal is, I don't need your approval to feel okay about myself. Psychologists call this non-reactive confidence. It's the cornerstone of what most people describe as masculine presence, and it is without a doubt one of the most potent attraction triggers in female psychology. Remember Marcus? His colleague Daniel once watched Marcus decline an invitation from a woman he was dating. She wanted him to cancel his weekend plans for a last-minute trip she'd organized. Marcus said calmly, warmly, without drama, I can't do this weekend. I've had this planned for a month. Let's plan something next week. She pushed back gently. He smiled. I understand, but no, this weekend doesn't work for me. Daniel expected her to get upset. Instead, she looked at Marcus with a level of respect that Daniel had never seen directed at him. Because a man who can say no, especially when it would be easier to say yes, is a man who can be trusted. And trust in female psychology is the foundation of deep attraction, integration, and here lies the power of this. These two words aren't just styles, they reflect an inner state. Interesting means, I have enough confidence to be curious about your world without needing to compete with it. No means I have enough confidence to set boundaries for myself without needing your permission. Together, these two words form the psychological profile of what women of all cultures, ages, and backgrounds consistently describe as the most attractive quality in a man. Someone who is completely authentic, a man who is genuinely curious, not pretending to be, and who has real boundaries, not pretending to be strong, feels real, and real is rare, and rare is attractive. That's why older men who have often had enough experiences to stop pretending tend to attract women more naturally. It's not about age, but about the authenticity that can come with it. And the good news, you don't have to wait until you're 50 to develop these qualities. You can start today. And how do you embody this? So, how do you practically embody these two words for interesting? The next time someone says something you disagree with or don't fully understand, resist the urge to correct or outdo them. Instead, say, that's interesting. What made you think of that? Then listen carefully. Don't think about your response, just listen. Notice what comes to mind. Curiosity is a skill that is learned. The more you practice it, the more it becomes second nature. For no, practice it first in simple situations. Does a friend ask you to do something you don't want to do? Say no calmly without elaborating. Does a colleague suggest something you disagree with? Offer your alternative without apologizing for having it. Boundaries aren't walls. They're the foundation of your self-respect. Every time you apply one calmly and gracefully, you become a little closer to the kind of man women instinctively trust and desire. Let's summarize. The two words older men use to attract women rooted in female psychology are interesting and no. Interesting conveys presence, genuine curiosity, and emotional security. It makes a woman feel completely understood, and this feeling bonds her to you. No conveys self-respect, inner stability, and boundaries. It makes a woman feel secure because a man who respects himself is capable of respecting her. Together, these two words tell the female subconscious what it has been conditioned to seek through thousands of years of human evolution, a real man. If this video changed your perspective on attraction and psychology, share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us which word do you think you need to practice more, interesting or no? And if you found this helpful, Share it with someone who might need to hear it. The right idea in the right hands at the right time can change everything. New videos about psychology, human behavior, and the science of attraction are published weekly. Subscribe now to be the first to see them. Until next time, stay humble, remain curious, and always remember, your greatest strength is being completely yourself.